Good evening, my name is Garrett, and welcome to The Last Call. Tonight's final drink is from Good Times. This is their apple pie cask finish, single barrel cask strength bourbon whiskey finished in apple brandy and amberana casks, coming in at a 57% ABV. So for full disclosure, Good Times was kind enough to send this bottle over for us to take a look at and a review, so just keeping that transparency open. So Good Times is based out of Kentucky, where they're doing some really interesting finishes out there. And I know right now a lot of people have some very staunch opinions about finishing. Here at The Last Call, it doesn't matter what you drink or how you drink it, as long as you enjoy it. And for me, I am a sucker for a great finished product. And hearing something like this always makes me scratch my head. So essentially what they're telling us is they're taking a single barrel cask strength bourbon from MGP, which MGP makes great bourbon, and then they're finishing it in not only an apple brandy cask, but then moving it over to an amberana cask. And I know amberana itself is very polarizing for a lot of people. Personally, I love it. And I think the idea of taking the amberana wood, which brings across a lot of your cinnamon sugar sweetness, and an apple brandy to bring across that fruit sweetness is going to make an interesting combination that's right up my alley personally. And I cannot wait to get into this one. So let's hop into it, see how they do. I'm excited, yeah. Love their labelings on front. This is obviously Christmas themed. Apple pie, works for me. Anywho, as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hang around for a bit, become a member if you'd like. If you're interested in some other reviews over Good Times that I've done, links to those videos will be up above and down below for you to check out, along with a link to their websites, or their social medias, I should say, so you can go follow them, kind of learn about their releases, and more about Good Times. Alrighty. Beautiful dark golden color on there. Yeah. Looks good in the glass. Got some nice. It looks thick. Got some viscosity going on in there. Alrighty. Let's go for notes. Okay. On the nose, beautiful. You do get that apple brandy sweetness, and you do get that undercarriage of the amberana going on. Like, it's not overbearing, and that surprises me, because amberana can be a very potent finish on things. But you still get that kind of cinnamon sugar oiliness from that amberana cask, and you get that apple brandy sweetness in there. And most people have had some kind of apple brandy experience or something finished in that. So it's just lightly in there. You still get some nice developed bourbon characteristics. You're getting that kind of charriness, the sweet oaks, the more corn forward sweetness, a little bit of rye spiciness in there, and then that kind of sweet vanilla cream. Maybe a little bit of caramel as well. Yeah, I get what you're going for on that, calling it an apple pie. I was hoping for a little bit more of a pastry note. Haven't found that yet. Might come across in the taste. That would have been just stellar. But overall, no ABV, nothing harsh, no off notes. Just a really solid. And again, for me, that amberana is very light. So that tells me either they've worked it down so that there's not as much impact, or B, that they're doing a very short time in there, which takes care. Because I've had some of the amberana that really just dominate the bourbon. In here, it's just nice and simple and soft. Nice spiciness in there. I love that cinnamon sugar note again. The apple sweetness in there. Yeah, it's exactly what you're saying on the bottle. Or at least as close as you can get with a bourbon. I'll give it that. Alrighty, let's go for a taste. Okay. Yeah. A lot more amberana taste, but it's still not to the point that I've had in some other releases of being so overbearing. Got a great mouthfeel to it, a little warming effect, a little bit of bitterness that's probably coming from that apple brandy cask. But not only are you getting that cinnamon sugar from the amberana cask, but you're also finding a bit of cinnamon stick in there, like freshly grated cinnamon stick, and it matches up pretty well with that apple brandy. No ABV, nothing harsh, no off notes on that. It's got a lot of cling on the palate. It's a little thick, it's oily from that Amberana, I'm going to assume. But then here in the very late finish, you're getting just a nice simple sweet. The bourbon is kind of more hidden in this one, I'll be honest with you, which is expected. Again, one of those is a very potent finish. But overall, I'm picking up what you're putting down, Good Times. I see what you're doing here. Second sip here, digging it even more now. Now that you're acclimated to what's going on, you're getting a lot more of that sweet apple orchard notes. The cinnamon sugar is still showing up. But again, I gotta give that credit. It doesn't overtake things. Beautiful cling on the palate. And that apple brandy, I wish it would come through a little bit more if I wanted to kind of split hairs. But you do get this almost, I'm going to say it, you're almost getting a pastry vibe to it, like a pie crust or an apple turnover kind of idea in there, because there is a sweet layer characteristic as well. Like if you were going to make homemade apple turnovers, you put your little bit of vanilla, your icing on the top of it, and then sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon sugar over the top with a little more cinnamon into it. That's what you're getting. And it's really approachable. Even if you're not big into whiskey, that is something you could easily drink, even with that high ABV on there, and just go, that's really solid. And again, you have to know what you're getting into when you pick up one of these bottles, especially by the names. You're going with two very sweet finishes, and it comes across not as sweet as I was expecting, but it's there. Yeah, it's really exactly what they're saying. If anything, I will point out this is the one of their releases that I would say the bourbon is lost a little bit more, but you are finding some subtle leftover bits of the bourbon throughout the sip itself. And overall, I like it. It's not as pungent or as in your face as I was expecting it to be, especially after the internet has their time with it. Like they're all the time complaining about how over finished these products are. And I'll tell you what, I don't see it. That is just a really good sip. Alrighty, let's talk about a grade for this one. So typical pricing on these ranges anywhere between $100 to $150-ish in that range. And Amberana is not cheap wood to use, especially if they're using full barrels of this and not just staves. I'll give it a solid B-. The only criticism that I could say is that I wish the apple brandy was coming across a little bit more, and that little bit of bitterness in there. But even with those things, this is an easy sip. Like this is something you want around the holidays. High proof, single barrel cask strength. You're transparent about your process. And I'll tell you what, that's good. I like it. That is one that I could crush with some friends and just everybody have a really good pour of that and enjoy it because it is that darn good. Bravo on that one. And again, if you're interested in learning more about Good Times and any other offerings, links to their social media accounts will be down in the description area below. Go show them some love. So yeah, there you have it, folks. Good Times apple pie cask finished bourbon whiskey finished in apple brandy and Amberana casks. If you have any question about the bottle itself, let me know down in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer it. And if you have any specific spirits I should go looking for, also let me know down below. Love doing these reviews and sharing with you the experience at home. And as always, may your last drink of the night be the best one.
You know, and I really like it might